We've looked at references and time signatures in some Doom MIDIs already, but we have yet to delve into chords, progressions, and key signatures in detail. If you're thinking of becoming a MIDI composer for Doom WADs, or are composing already and are looking for some different ways to structure new MIDIs you want to write, then let's listen to some more here. It's not unusual for songs and pieces of music to carry along with just 2 chords throughout their run. 2-chord tracks are a little less common in the Doom scene, but there are enough examples that warrant some discussion. The classic example that comes to mind is Sign of Evil by Bobby Prince, which appeared in the original Doom. This track is famous primarily for its guitar part, but it's also notable for being one of the only tracks in the game to alternate between just 2 chords, in this case, the tonic chord and the submediant chord. In music theory, the tonic chord is chord 1. It's the root chord of any given key. The submediant chord is the 6th chord of a key and falls 3 degrees away from the tonic chord in a scale. So, in this case, because Sign of Evil is in the key of C minor, its tonic chord is C minor, and the submediant chord is A flat major. The piece starts with A flat major for 2 measures, and then C minor for 2 measures, and it never deviates from this pattern during its run. It makes for a nice conflict resolution kind of feeling. The A flat major chord builds suspense, and the C minor chord releases that suspense, while still maintaining a degree of uneasiness. Leo Siebin's immortal TNT Evilution track, Legion of the Lost, which we've discussed in another video, follows a very similar pattern. Here we're cycling between A minor and F major, but this time the tonic chord, A minor, plays first, and the submediant chord, F major, plays second. Having the A minor chord play first exudes a feeling of despair or turmoil, with F major temporarily relieving us of those feelings, but then falling back into that unrest. This is what makes Legion of the Lost an all-around somber track, and as a result, one of the most memorable MIDIs in Evilution. As an homage to Evilution and Plutonia's Map 31s both using 2-chord MIDIs, Tristan Clark replicated that pattern in Cry of Desperation for the Plutonia MIDI pack. Switching between C major and E minor is our tonic chord, and C major the submediant. While the track technically doesn't deviate from these 2 chords, there are subtle bits of dissonance added near the track's end. Isolate the strings section, and you'll hear some things that at first sound a tad out of place. What we're hearing here is an accidental note, D sharp. An accidental note is so named because it's one that normally is not a member of whatever key signature a piece is in. So, D sharp in this example is accidental because it's not in the E minor natural scale. The other example of dissonance is the added ninth interval, in this case an F sharp, to the E minor chord. This makes the chord feel open-ended or unresolved, making the return to C major even more satisfying in the next measure. Another two-chord track, called Dozy Dust, written by Decino for Not Even Remotely Fair, follows the A minor F major progression. However, there is one small switch-up. Near the track's halfway point and right at the end, the F major chord becomes an F6 with the addition of a D natural note into the chord, allowing for some dissonance. Getting back to Team TNT musicians for a moment, Tom Mustaine also used the two-chord formula in one of his Perdition's gate MIDIs, titled Control-CV. This time, we don't hear the submediant chord. Rather, this track moves between the tonic chord E minor and the subtonic chord D major. The subtonic chord, as its name suggests, is a chord that falls one whole step under the tonic chord in a key or scale. In minor scales, which are commonplace in Doom MIDI composition, subtonic chords are the seventh chord in a key. In the context of Control-CV, its chord progression feels like a stop-and-go or push-and-pull kind of motion. This next one is a bit of an outlier for this lineup of MIDIs because it uses more than two chords, but not in an obvious way, at least for a while. It's called Otherworld Voices and was created for the WAD Atmospheric Extinction by Kevin Martins, better known in the Doom community as Velvetic. Here we're in the key of F minor, but we can hear use of chords not in the key signature, like F major, G flat major, and G flat 6. On the surface, these chords all sound alike, but listen more closely and you'll notice note changes. For instance, the minor third, A flat, raises a half step to A natural to give us the major third. Additionally, we also hear instances of E flat being used in the G flat major chord. Our last example comes to us from BPRD and his WAD Equinox, specifically the track that accompanies Equinox's iconic final map. While technically this piece doesn't exclusively use the same two chords in its duration, it still follows a two-chord progression. It's also notable for using exclusively major chords, alternating between C major and E major, then switching to F major and E major about a minute in. Evidently, the melody of this track was not created by BPRD himself. According to his old website, he pulled it from a track on another website made by a child who passed away a long time ago. Unfortunately, there is no way to determine who the child is or what website it was, as the URL is not listed on BPRD's old site. Whoever the child was, he and his music have been immortalized in a way, as Equinox Map 13 is listed as one of the most memorable Doom WAD maps of all time, and is certainly one of the first maps to come to mind when a player thinks of Equinox. With that, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope the MIDIs we covered here today gave you some inspiration and ideas for music you may be writing or would like to write if you want to start making MIDIs. If you know of any 2-chord MIDIs that I didn't cover in this video, as always, feel free to share them in the comments below. This has been Ray from the Phobos Amphitheater, and I hope you have a wonderful day.